You might be surprised with the fact that coffee is the most favorite drink in the world after water. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Qasim Sajjad and you are watching the Ace Wheels. As promised a few episodes earlier that I will be shooting some episodes in English for my audience who does not properly understand the Urdu language. So, today is the day. Today is 1st of October 2020 and also a bit special as it is International Coffee Day. I love coffee whether it is summers or winters, and I'm shooting this video just to say a big thank you to all the coffee farmers around the world, from Brazil to Colombia to Guatemala to Costa Rica to Ethiopia to Yemen and all in between. So let's start the program. You might be surprised with the fact that coffee is the most favorite drink in the world after water. Yep, you heard it right. Throughout the world, more than 2 billion cups of coffee are consumed every day, and it is the most valuable traded commodity in the world, only second to oil. Coffee has been at the center of conversation for many centuries. It is kind of an essential morning ritual in most cultures worldwide. The journey of coffee begins with the green bean hidden in the red cherry of the coffee tree. Some call it magical, and some just reject altogether. But nobody could keep this irresistible bean from spreading all around the world. The saga began over 1,000 years ago from the place we know as Ethiopia. The credit of discovering coffee goes to a goat herd named Kaldi. He observed that his goats chewed the leaves and berries of a tree that he never noticed before, and that is making them jumping around. So he decided to try a few berries from that tree, and after having them, he felt good and energized, and that's how coffee was supposedly discovered. The coffee cherries were simply chewed at first. Later, Ethiopians started doing the coffee tree leaves with boiled water. In 1400s, someone accidentally roasted the beans to discover how good they actually smell. I just love that aroma. Literally love that. Anyways, people in Ethiopia then started grinding and brewing them, and coffee is a heritage and a pride of Ethiopian culture. The traders brought the coffee beans from Ethiopia to the Arabian port of Mocha. The Arabs began the first known cultivation of coffee in the nearby mountains of Yemen and then across the Red Sea. Initially, the Sufis started to consume coffee in order to keep them awake for the night to worship. The black brew spreads from one place to another as a holy ceremonial drink and later into the Arab culture. The coffee culture started coffee houses, where people gather and discuss different matters over coffee, and they later became huge social venues. The Turks inherited coffee and coffee culture when they conquered the Arab. Besides the domestic consumption of coffee, the Turkish men started to come to public coffee houses for coffee and social gatherings. In Turkey, coffee is an important part of a candid conversation with friends. There is a saying in Turkish that "Gunar ne kahve ister ne kahve hane, gunar muhabbat ister kahve bahane," means heart neither wants coffee nor coffee house. Heart wants a conversation, and coffee is an excuse. As the taste of coffee grew, the Turks began to be more vigilant about protecting their beloved coffee bean, particularly after the Turks spread the coffee far and wide throughout the Ottoman Empire. The Turks did not want anybody to grow the coffee beans besides them, so they were very careful to keep that monopoly. Even when they exported coffee beans, they parboiled them, so they are not fertile and nobody could grow them. Then the people started trying to smuggle out this precious commodity. Eventually, an Indian managed to get a few beans and began growing some in India, and later the Dutch got hold of some seeds and began growing in Amsterdam. The Dutch later transported the coffee plant to their colony in Java to cultivate coffee. In 1680s, the coffee beans reached Guyana, where people did not like the coffee grounds in their coffee, so the concept of filter coffee was introduced. In Guyana, people improvised the coffee with milk, as they also did not like the raw taste of plain coffee. It is the same way we have it today. While Guyana introduced the modern way of drinking coffee, the perfection of coffee culture took place in Italy. where the art of espresso was introduced. Italians loved their coffee and greatly enriched the world's coffee culture. Europe was in love with coffee, and in 17th century, even coffee started replacing wine and beer as the beverage of choice in social gatherings at cafes. The world's largest coffee producer is Brazil, and the entry of coffee in Brazil is a story in its own. In an argument over the borders, French Guiana and Dutch asked a Brazilian official named Francisco Paleta to adjudicate that matter. He fell in love with the wife of the governor of French Guiana and had an affair during the negotiations. When he left, the governor of French Guiana's wife gave him a bouquet of flowers and some fertile coffee berries in the middle of that bouquet. It was something major at that time as no one was allowed to export the fertile coffee beans. With the same beans, Brazil later became the coffee powerhouse of the world, which it remains to this day. The coffee later spreads across South and Central America, the likes of Guatemala, Colombia, Mexico, Costa Rica, and many others. So you know that from the bean to the coffee cup, it provides the livelihood to more than 25 to 30 million people, and also survival of another more than 100 million is associated with coffee. Just for a fact, depending on the variety, it takes 4 to 6 years for the newly planted coffee tree to bear fruit. On this International Coffee Day, I wanted to say a big thank you to all the coffee farmers around the world for producing coffee beans so we can enjoy a good cup of coffee. Brew at home or visit a local coffee shop with your loved ones to enjoy a delicious cup of coffee on this International Coffee Day. In the end, I wanted to thank my Saudi friend, Hussein Al-Madri, who introduced me to the true taste of coffee. I loved coffee all my life, but never liked it without milk and sugar. And during my time in Saudi Arabia, he introduced me to how good a black coffee can be. Since then, I occasionally have a cappuccino or latte, but Americano or espresso is my way to go now. Thank you, my friend, and hope to meet you soon again over the cup of coffee, inshallah. Looking forward to your feedback via comments. I will inshallah meet you again in the next episode. Until then, allow me, Qasim Sajjad, to sign off. Allah Hafiz.